Ugh, I repeat. Oh, that looks pretty cool, actually. Had a hard last week, gotta keep going. That's my, yeah, Banana Brains, this is probably going to be my more usual time moving forward. I'm just, let me actually put my fucking mic up. I want to try streaming earlier in the day. I think the earlier day streams work better for me because it helps me regulate a little bit, helps me have something to do in the middle of the day. I don't feel as tired during them. I feel like I can go a little bit longer. Oh yeah, no, we're reading the whole essay. We're reading the whole essay. Yeah, what a fucking thing. But I am also, I get you on the hey, maybe shit's fucked up front, because I have the dubious honor of, like, I think I'm getting an eye infection of some kind. Because I've noticed in the last couple days, this eye is like, there's like a, like kind of a pain, like a muscle bruise pain, like right here. And it's also getting like kind of red and inflamed. Be right back, gonna go make coffee. You are all good. Good afternoon, Johnny Viral. Hey, Nam forever. Koa wants me to tell you Johnny Viral Koa wants me to tell you she says hi too. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like my workload and work pace has been much better since I started doing this. Like today I woke up 6, 7-ish, wrote for about 3-4 hours, took a little rest, and then now I'm streaming. Hey Fishfits, hey Pact, hey Moth Mom Jess. Am I avoiding the snow? I am not, because as I'm looking out my window right now, it is snowing. Which is great for me, because I really want to do my Black Cat cosplay, and I've been waiting for snow, because I think it'll be a really striking look. Johnny Viral, #1 Koa Defender reporting for duty, Koa. Koa just yelled from the other room, let's go. Hey, Raider. Lizard Cold, glad to catch your stream. Had a 5-minute conversation with my mother and felt very depressed with ideations after. I am sorry to hear that. Hopefully this won't be too, I mean, there'll be some rough stuff, but this won't be as like existentially dire as the last stream. Cool light projector thing. Yeah, thank you. It's one of 2 purchases I got on Black Friday. It's just like one of those little, it was in my wish list forever, and it was like $7, so I was like, okay. That, and the other thing I got was a eyeliner pencil, because they had those on sale for like 50% off for the brand I like, so it's like $5 for that. My Angel Dust cosplay. If you enjoy my Angel Dust cosplay, there will also be another one of those, because somebody bought me the Angel Dust outfit off of my Throne wish list, which is, if you know the Poison cover, it's the kind of leather or latexy black leotard piece. Oh, thank you, Joey Staley. Staley. Hey, Vesper, replaying the Wolfenstein games after watching your video essay. That makes me feel so good, honestly, because I fucking, I've been thinking I might try and like shill those early essays a little bit more, in between, like while I'm doing these other big things, because I love my Control essay. I love my Wolfenstein essay. I wish they got more. I'm kind of surprised by how much attention Wolfenstein has gotten, but I kind of wish they got more. So, thoughts on S2? What is S2? Season 2? Season 2 of what? Superman 2? I don't know. Have I heard the meme that Hegseth shared? Oh boy, fucking did I. Yeah, look, Hegseth seems to be really hedging on the bet that he won't end up in a Hague-like procedure, which, here's the thing. Unfortunately, given the history of modern Democrats, is kind of a fair assumption. But, man, what an unrepentant little piece of shit. We're talking about the Venezuelan thing, because I need to actually put out a video on it, or make a stream highlight of last stream. I think I'll do that when I get done streaming today, because I have that. I wrote for like 3 or 4 hours today, and then I have an interview later tonight with Damage. Some of you in the chat probably know Damage, Aries, who I'm pretty sure the chat recommended it to me. Anyway. Hi Nehemiah. Favorite moon/planet in our solar system? Damn, that's a good question. I've always been strangely drawn to Jupiter, I think. Couldn't tell you why, really. Oh, season 2 of Hazbin Hotel. I've still not watched it. Still not watched it. One of these days. I saw that Garrick Taylor been playing through Daikatana. That's fun. It big. So Johnny Varro, I saw the dude who was pushing for Hegseth to be investigated to find out that if they, so one of the reasons why I need to make a stream highlight of the video we did last time, even though it didn't end the way I wanted it to, because the fucking stream just cut out and died, is that I feel like when you go back through so much of the early aughts and the U.S. intelligence apparatus and the invasion of Afghanistan and the war on terror and shit, when you go back through it, it gives so much more context to all of the shit we're seeing right now with Venezuela. Is mostly the thing that I want to kind of call attention to. Are those freckles I see? Oh, check this shit out. Yeah, I got mad fucking freckles. See, that's how I know you haven't paid for the OnlyFans. Have I ever read Wicked and Divine? Thoughts on doing Lucifer cosplay? Which Lucifer? I was kind of back and forthing an idea with a photographer friend of mine about doing just like a kind of Lucifer themed photo set. Who is Laura Loomer? Entertainment Power Fuchs. You are, I don't know. I don't want to say if you're blessed, but you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. D Quarterman, thank you for subscribing. Yeah, Carolyn Levitt looked panicked during her latest grilling. So the thing, I don't think that any Republican in this administration, because as Trump just fucking pardoned an actual narco terrorist, an actual drug trafficker, not by the way the Chinese dude who was pardoned, whose Bitcoin transactions like help terrorists all over the world. Pardoned a different dude. So the idea that Hegseth is going to be held accountable while anybody from this administration is in any tangible real degree of power is like, I will absolutely not fucking hold on to that. It is also darkly funny for them to like the way, because I saw that dude, the interview clip where they said, you know, we will be looking into this and seeing if everything correct was followed. But for Hegseth, you had, like, the idea that it wasn't the fact that they attacked unconfirmed drug trafficking boats in open water. It wasn't the fact that they've almost certainly killed random civilian fishermen that was like a war crime. the thing that might have been a war crime, according to the dude who was like, we're looking into this, was ordering the troops to fire on survivors. Like, it's one of those things where it's just, you know how every president is a war criminal, but nobody really talks about it like that? When you recontextualize it, every other aspect of it starts to seem so silly and vapid and stupid, yet also this is a literal matter of life and death. No, you're good, Fighting Hobbit. So I opened up with a 5-ingredient peanut butter bread. Hopefully in your part. Honey? Yeah? Do you have peanut butter allergy? No. Okay, cool. We got a cool recipe for peanut butter bread we're going to try. Yay! She said yay. Thank you very much, Fighting Hobbit, for the 23 bits. Yeah, no different from sinking the lifeboats. Absolutely. Like, that's what it is. It's the same thing that, like, after we did the last stream where we looked into the kind of CIA operations in Afghanistan and how the zero units and the night raids, night doctrine, all that shit. And then seeing people get so fucking mad and up in arms. And the thing you got to understand is that half of any conservative outrage you're going to see, well, and Democrat, like mainstream Democrat outrage you're going to see on any given issue, half of it is performative, right? Half of it is people who know the truth behind a matter, but that's not how they're going to spin it to further their agenda. So people like Laura Loomer saying that, like, oh, this, this Afghan national who killed an American National Guard, this is why we need to close all borders. Laura Loomer almost certainly knows better than that, but that's not what she's going to say, because that's not what she's going to sell to her audience. On the other hand, the other people kind of underneath her, if you put it in like a tiered system, the other people probably underneath that rung are sincere about it. They see this story happening, and they say to themselves, oh my gosh, the Afghans are coming to kill us. And then again, it's kind of like the Pete Hegseth thing, where what you delineate, or what the American subconscious will delineate as a war crime, as being too far, as a step in this far of a direction. It's so funny what we just seemingly arbitrarily say is or isn't too much, because no, so many people did not fucking call attention to the fact that this guy was a goddamn CIA asset, talking about the National Guard shooter, who was brought. Oh, it makes me so crazy, because here we have here's the really, like, horrifying / darkly comedic part of it, is that here we have, with the recent shooting of the National Guard member in DC, you see a number of concurrent threads kind of like coming back into the plot, where you had in the early 2000s the entire media apparatus in the wake of September 11th feeding off of the invasion of Iraq and feeding it on as well, working in tandem with places like the CIA, while the CIA was over on the ground, boots on the ground in Afghanistan, turning their populace against them, having those people be unaccountable black ops operatives that would just go and murder civilians in the middle of the night. So America and the CIA had plausible deniability. So after about 20 years of doing that, ruining countless, so many people's lives, I had some fucking jackass in my comments be like, they didn't actually bring him over as a wage slave. They had a choice. It was like, okay, so your choice is, after being inducted into the CIA as a child soldier, you either stay in Afghanistan, which has been made even worse by U.S. involvement, is falling to the Taliban, and the Taliban want to hunt you and your family down, so probably not best plan A, or plan B, which is the one that a lot of Afghan nationals took after helping the U.S. You come over to America, get put in Section 8, Section 9 housing. You work at small-time, local, like, area grocery stores. Like how anybody can defend this policy when the outcome was a bunch of people working their ass off, minimum wage, a bunch of trained CIA assassins coming over here and basically having no alternative but to work the most menial drudge labor nobody else wanted to. And then on top of that, the United States government was floating the idea, because we're run by a bunch of idiot racists, floating the idea of what if we send all those Afghan nationals back? So there's a lot of speculation that this is why the shooter just fucking walled off and started shooting at National Guard civilians. So you have those ideas, right? Yeah, blowback. Fucking exactly. Toasted Panini, thank you so much for 850 bits. Holy shit. I know you said the best way to donate is Ko-Fi, but all I can donate at the moment is bits. I appreciate everything. Here's hoping this helps. Just want to say I love your content. Always watch and support. Thank you so much, Toasted Panini. And thank you, Nehemia, for $5. Laura's name doesn't lie. She does really loom. Oh my God, doesn't she? She's looming over this conversation. So I'm gonna, yeah, it is kind of like a more traumatic version of the Goodfellas ending, where everything is circular. It's like poetry. It rhymes, you know? And so you have that in one corner, right? And the darkly funny part is watching so much of the same shit just happen in Venezuela, while so many of the people run back and I guess this is getting to the last part of the headline before everything else, is that watching the United States media apparatus, which is compromised in a way that has never been before. Like I would never say that the big newspapers were not compromised. Like, these are people, they get sources from the intelligence community, they get their marching orders from the intelligence community, especially at this big level. It has never been so explicit as it is now, you know, where you have these outlets owned by these billionaires that are, you know, going to all these galas and fundraiser events and financing Trump, and, you know, you have all the shit with Palantir and Peter Thiel and all that stuff. It's just so blatant as to be insulting the way that they are running back the exact same fucking playbook, where New York Times today had an article. Let me see if I can find it really quick. There we go. Yeah, here we go. Ronald Reagan, the actor. Sorry, Jenny Bean 416. I just saw your comment. I'm sorry. I can't stop it. Yeah, Wall Street Journal today decided to put out Venezuela has become a major launchpad for huge volumes of cocaine shipped to West Africa, where jihadists are helping traffic it to Europe in record quantities. What do you think? And I want anybody to ask themselves, anybody who might credulously see this and be like, wow, that sounds crazy. Maybe somebody should do something about that. I want you to question to yourself, how many times in the last 20 years have you heard about Venezuela in any context that did not involve our intervention or oil? How many times? Because most people wouldn't be able to tell you the capital of Venezuela is Caracas. Not true by the DEA's internal documents. That doesn't surprise me. I heard Venezuela has WMDs. You know what? I wouldn't be fucking surprised. No, Heidi Moore hits it on the head here. Jihadist is a loaded and very suspicious Islamophobic propaganda term that's not taken seriously in geopolitics. It's designed to evoke a white supremacist clash of civilizations narrative. Like, so, and that is directly accurate in that they are literally the Wall Street Journal running interference for the U.S. intelligence apparatus and giving us all of this fucking excuse to do a ground invasion of fucking Venezuela, is saying essentially Venezuela is jihadists. Like that's what we're going with here. It's just like, it is so, we went through this all in our lifetimes. It's so fucking frustrating. Talria, thank you very much for following. Fighting Hobbit, thank you for another 50 bits. We're basically seeing the greatest hits of American imperialism on repeat again and again. They have weapons of mass destruction. I don't know this person, but I know they stand for everything you hate. My name is John Johnson. I live in Wisconsin. Yes, exactly. Digacha, thank you very much for $5. Have a good stream. Thank you so much. I will try. Yeah. Yeah. the overwhelmingly majority Catholic country is jihadist. I mean, it's just like, it's just so fucking frustrating to watch all of this stuff happening, because it is actually kind of like neck and neck in a weird way with the way the media apparatus has completely failed I should say Western media apparatus has completely failed to accurately portray the ongoing Israeli genocide in Gaza. And you'll even fucking see it in the last couple days. What was it? Was it BBC or one of these? I mean, they all use the same passive voice bullshit. Where there was one of the prized tactics of the IOF, Israeli Occupational Forces, is to delineate, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, where they delineate these completely arbitrary lines as like yellow zones or no-go zones, and will not tell the Gazan civilians. So when Gazans try and like go back for their last bit of belongings because their entire life is now in a ruin, and completely unaware of where these zones are, the IOF will just fucking kill anybody because they're a bunch of sick, bizarre, bloodthirsty freaks. So, what you have is the more recent story of two children, 8 and 11. And the fucking passive voice used by mainstream publications to say, like, two children killed in you know, the way that they always say, because technically, there's a ceasefire going on, which isn't so much a ceasefire as it is like it's not even a slap on the wrist, because the IDF doesn't give a fuck. They keep murdering civilians every day. But yeah, no, it's exactly like an Entropy fan, thank you on YouTube. 300 Palestinians died on one hand, then Israeli young man kidnapped from a tank. Yes. Yeah. No, Irish DC, thank you for right under that. 100 Palestinians died for some reason around where an Israeli missile killed 2 Hamas fighters. It's that shit. It is like 2 suspected insurgents killed in Gaza's yellow zone, and during ceasefire causing tensions to mount. And it's like, okay, then you read the story and it's 2 fucking like children who were just in a bombed out building playing and got fucking annihilated by an American Hellfire missile. Rad. And it's that kind of like passive voice, this almost completely removed like reporting on these things that are tangibly affecting people's lives halfway across the world. It resonates so much with the exact same way that many of the same institutions in media are currently covering, quote unquote, Venezuela. And it's just so... Lizard Call. I was reading something about that yesterday. Today I heard something about a decent number of ICE agents found to be current or former IDF soldiers. Doesn't surprise me. We read the story a couple weeks ago, months ago now, and I believe it was the video. I think I made a stream highlights of it saying, you know, don't turn away from the genocide in Gaza, where it was talking about like the American IDF soldiers who basically went over there on fucking a tourism vacation to murder kids. Yeah, it is so... The idea that IDF soldiers would come over here and be in ICE doesn't surprise me. And I hope that they don't get a single good night of sleep ever. The thing I have seen, and I have to reserve any kind of empathy or understanding for these people, but the thing I have seen is the amount of IDF soldiers, because when people call Israel a genocidal project, okay, first I'm gonna get to this really quick. Nehemia, thank you very much for $5. I remember in an even more new segment, Cody was talking about how American media villainizes a group of people the U.S. government wants to invade. Yep, yeah, that's what it is. It is. I guarantee there are calls behind the scenes going, hey, how can we get this so that, you know, Hamas looks bad. What was I saying? IDF. Oh, when people call the IDF or Israel a genocidal project, what they're talking about is the way that Israeli children, like from youth, they are brought up with a hatred of Arab people. Believing, like quite literally, they are taught by their society that these people are subhuman, that they do not deserve to live. And we have seen this time and time again come out through various pieces of media. The thing that is, and it's not, I don't have sympathy for these people. I do, I guess in an abstract way, kind of grieve for the just inhumanity of the situation, where you have these people who are, again, much like the CIA child soldiers. They're taken from an environment where they are then radicalized to believe one thing. And then they are sent out to kill and die in service of that idea. And then, and this is one of the things that we keep seeing. Let me see if I can look it up really quick. Dump medication in Kesnet. Israeli soldier suicides fall between the cracks. We are mentally ill. Our friends are committing suicide. And cry for help. And this is a Zionist news site, by the way. Oh my God, a visit from Ben Gavir. Ben Gavir is a fucking I think that's the right way to spell it. Like, actually a fucking psychopath piece of shit. Holy Christ. In cry for help, combat vets toss piles of pills at Knesset meeting on suicide. Veterans complain government has not done enough to tackle rising suicide rates among those with PTSD. Now, by far, the Gazan forces. So if you were taking the IDF line that there is a fucking taking the IDF line that there is a, you know, that Hamas is just every civilian casualty is because of Hamas, basically. Combat veterans poured bags of medication on the table, loudly warning that there will be more suicides during the upcoming holiday season if things do not change. Quote, we've been crying out for years, underlying the deep level of distress many are dealing with, complaining that those who have experienced trauma have not had proper treatment. 5 years ago, I warned you about these suicides. You did nothing, referring to a rise in veterans and soldiers taking their own lives since the start of the fighting in Gaza. Quote, the recent war has exacerbated the need, and unfortunately, we are seeing a sharp increase in the number of calls for help and the sense of distress and number of suicides, both in civilian society and among those serving in the IDF. In previous discussions, we have already warned of gaps in the areas of detection, prevention, and treatment, but things have not been sufficiently advanced and improved. In January, the IDF announced it had observed an increase in the number of suspected suicides, starting at 28 soldiers were believed to, stating that 28 soldiers were believed to have died by suicide since Hamas attack. Another 10 to blah, blah, blah. Sharp increase from previous years. In 2022, the IDF recorded 14. In 2021, the number was 11. Most recent suicides were driven by psychological trauma from the ongoing war, including prolonged deployments in combat zones, witnessing harrowing scenes, and the loss of friends, according to the finding. So again, it's this thing of like, this is a much more sympathetic view than they fucking deserve. But at the same time, yeah, you have to, like, not specifically for the fact that they're IDF soldiers, but just the much like with the Afghan CIA asset, you have to fucking grieve for the simple loss of humanity in this situation where people are just constantly trained, used, and thrown away. Entire lives just gone. For what? For a genocidal colonialist project? Irish DC 95, thank you for 100 bits. Seeing that Italy is launching investigation into alleged sniper safaris where the rumors are during the Bosnian War and siege of Sarajevo. Yeah, I saw this. There people went on war tours and paid to snipe Bosnian civilians for fun, including Italians, Americans, and other nationalities. I don't I completely... Yes, absolutely. Yes. Nope, we have not talked about the trans teacher yet. Hello, baby. Yeah, no, trans Nazis had the same issue with death camp soldiers. There are a lot of, like, and again, you can't really put it in a place and time because it's such a more complicated issue than that. But, like, yeah, like, this shit has been going on for as long as we've had war. We've always had war. Dead Domain, do you love black people? I love black people. Nehemiah, thank you for $10. Goodness gracious. Fun fact. Fun fact, half of Shoah survivors in Israel struggle to pay bills. A third are in poverty. About 40% suffer from loneliness. It's a really good article from, I believe, the Times of Israel. I will have to look into that. That's fucking wild, but entirely unsurprising given how colonial projects, like even America, look at how we treat our fucking veterans. When we talk about Melkirk, can you share my petition to the University of Oklahoma to reinstate and protect her? Sure. Anyway, I'm gonna go get nasal spray really quick, and then we'll get into some of this other stuff. But hey, what are you doing? Why are you being a bug? Why are you being a bug, dog? All right, yeah, let's go to... So before we get to that, I actually want to go... I like that one a little bit more. Yeah, everyone's streaming at once. I fucking saw that. I fucking saw, like, I think, God, who else? Surfs, Hassan, Denims, everybody's fucking streaming right now. What? I need to give, God. Geodeck Geoscience, are you in the Discord? Oh, it is coming down with snow out there. Damn. Oh, we also got to talk about the Kash Patel thing. That's funny. I think that's about all I wanted. Am I a kaiju fan? Absolutely. I have a Ghidorah right behind me. So fucking funny. 148, 50.
Thank you.
I want to show off the Laura Loomer thing because close that off. All right, let's hope that works. I think it will.
Aryan degenerate.
Whoa. A great fucking start already. Holy shit. So for those who don't remember, Laura Loomer is a, what would you even call it? Like an influencer? Fucking, I guess. She has just been I'll call her a clinger. She's been a clinger on to just kind of the broad Trump / MAGA movement. And she's gone through a number of different, we've done kind of, I think I have some stream highlight videos on her. She is not, I'm going to be so real. I don't understand how / why she has the capital, the clout she does. She is, yeah, no, leftist ginger girl. Her control over this admin has been wild considering how little she actually does / has done. Yeah, she has like no dubs to her name. Like that's it. Like her, before she locked herself into the latest iteration of MAGA being, you know, Trump's last campaign, her most notable things were locking herself to the door of Twitter when she got banned. Like she's the girl who locked herself to the door of Twitter and did not even block it as a matter of protest. She has constantly tried to meme herself and try and make a meme of herself without understanding like the kind of mocking or ironic connotations because she still thinks that she's like cool. She constantly tries to like use or create terms like loomered, like you got loomered. Let me see if I can find a fucking altered Photoshop. Laura Loomer did nothing wrong shirt. You can get one from Zazzle if you want. Donald Trump did nothing wrong. Let's see if I can find the fucking shirts. Yeah, she's not great. Here we go. I think that's the Laura Loomer did nothing wrong. She's also, and I need to stress this because she has gone through so there were rumors that she had gone through like a botched surgery. I don't think so. But I think she does have a surgery addiction. Like Laura Loomer is what? J. Williams 98, you got to be making that up. You got to be making that up. Stop it. Stop. No. Cannot do that. That's not for you. Sorry. Oh, fuck. Shit. Great. Awesome. All right. So what just happened is I actually, I didn't spill. Oh, no, I did. I'll be right back. I just spilled my drink. Because my dog, so give me 1 second. Hey, you goofus. Oh, thank you, baby. Oh, baby. Who saved who? You saved me. Love you. Yeah, that's what you get, you dingus. That's what you get, you dink. You freaking dink. Yeah, she did it. Oh yeah, no, she also ate dog food. I don't know. So there's, god damn, that snow is getting Campbell's chunky out there. Fuck. Yeah, she was kind of one of the first Mar-a-Lago face subjects. And she's only, I forget every time. She's only like 2 years older than me or something. Yep. She's 32. Yeah. And like that's I'm sorry, girl. Yeah, it's like look, I don't like age shaming. It's more of a, I guess, plastic surgery shaming, which is, I don't know. I don't want to say I think less of some, because I don't think less of anybody for, doing something that makes them happier in their self and their body. But I think there is something to the idea of people using plastic surgery. We talked about this. We talked about this when Savvy Writes Books was in chat. We talked about this. I think there are a lot of people who use plastic surgery as a surrogate for actual self-improvement or actual self-realization. And that's kind of the thing Laura Loomer strikes me as. There was Magar, thank you for $5. I call her Lauren Loomer because she's the most commonly cited sleep paralysis demon dating back to the 1700s. You ain't right. You ain't right. Or you ain't lying, sorry. Crail of Xanth, plastic surgery is a way of lying. I mean, I disagree about that. Like, there are plenty of people who get plastic surgery. Like, I have friends who have gotten, what would you say? Aesthetic surgeries for like cleft lip, cleft palate, broken nose, broken jaw, reconstructive surgery. Like there is nothing wrong with, trying to get yourself to be, to bring yourself in line with the person you want to see in the mirror. But damn, Laura. So Laura Loomer, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. There's a weird Zionist aspect to her too, that she is just so anyway. Yeah, like, and I would get FFS too. Although I think I talked about, I would love FFS. But I think I talked about it with my chat. The surgeon that I saw, they basically saw me and went like, oh, we actually wouldn't do that much to you to, like, do gender affirming surgery. We would just, like, take this up, do this. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's all well and good, but also that does not make me want to, like, speed track it. It's just becoming more of a thing. I'll get to it when I get to it, maybe. Gramulia, thank you very much for $5. The thing with plastic surgery also reflect insecurity, which when coupled with bullying is really ironic and hypocritical. And that's the fucking thing. Like, that's the thing that gets me with, like, Laura Loomer, is that these are people who spend so much of their time insulting others' appearances. And it's like, yeah, anyway. Thank you very much for the $5, by the way. So, all of that, and then there was I think Milo, the absolute drama bitch that he is. I don't know what's going on with Milo Yiannopoulos, but I'm always probably going to listen in because, look, I like a chaotic bitch. I'm sorry. I like somebody who makes some chaos, especially if it is somebody I hate causing chaos for other people I hate. That's good for me. That's pretty good for me. I'm not going to lie. I need laser like yesterday. Have had so many crash nuts, but waking up full of dread because of my body and facial hair. And I shaved the day before. I love being broke. Yeah. Yeah. Amber, I know what you mean. Way too Sugoi, thank you for 19 months. Oh my gosh. Boobies aren't any worse if you spent money on them. Ain't that true? Ain't that the truth? That's funny. Margar Milo experienced twink death, but his brain is still on death twink mode. That's the death twink is such a horrifying phrase for me. But kind of like he is just I don't know what the like why I didn't bother to because honestly I kind of don't care. I just cared to watch this video with y'all because it was I haven't listened to it. So you're going to be getting my fresh reaction to whatever she's saying. From that brief clip we already saw, I know it's going to be juicy. But what is this? Do I don't open it right now?
No, I just wanted to think about it.
Okay. I love you. Did I see Zootopia 2 yet? No. I probably not gonna if I'm being entirely honest. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Leftist Ginger Girl, for 5 tier 1 subs to Beside Upside, The Cyber Chill, Vixen Van Halen, Crit Spence, and Reclusive Marco. Thank you. Valentine's Day came early, yeah. Yeah, what a goofy little bean my partner is. Thank you so much, Leftist Ginger Girl. The sheer it was one of those videos when this Laura Loomer thing came across my my feed. It was one of those things that I was just like, oh no, I have to save this for stream. Because Laura Loomer is somebody just through the grapevine, through other people I know who have met her, interacted with her. She is somebody I do not doubt. I think I've talked to Amanda Moore about Laura Loomer a couple times, where Amanda is just always like, oh yeah, I know this person. Amanda's a very like real, genuine person, and I think Amanda just said, yeah, she's just as much of a bitch as you'd think. Like she's just the person that she is constantly, and it's why I think like I don't know. I think she knows better than some things, but she is at her core a conniving operator who will just say whatever or do whatever to push forward her party line, and because I think she has tied her sense of self to that. I don't want to pathologize Laura Loomer too much. Fight and Hobbit, thank you for 100 bits. I'm just going to say that when I fully commit to losing the weight, I'm going to get on my twink arc and become the biggest hollaback boy you'd ever see. I believe in you. I believe in you. She briefly stepped into that one room in Cube 2 Hypercube. Fucking deep cut reference to the Cube franchise. So yeah. So this was from, I'm guessing, some kind of Turning Point USA, some kind of event where she so what I think happens here, and we'll watch it together and I'll figure it all out. I think she is essentially sexually harassing a younger Republican drunkenly. So we're gonna fucking see if that's what happened.
Your hair and your eyes look so good. You're like beautiful.
Thank you.
You're like an Aryan degenerate goddess.
Thank you.
I love it.
Okay, now I gotta restart it because my phone.
Your hair and your eyes look so good. You're like beautiful.
Thank you.
You're like an Aryan degenerate goddess.
Thank
I don't even, like, there are new combinations of words that are said every day. And sometimes you come across one that is just maybe the worst anybody's ever put together until you hear the next worst one. I'm going to restart that so we can all experience it fresh together.
Your hair and your eyes look so good. You're like beautiful.
Thank you.
You're like an Aryan degenerate goddess.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. You're Aryan too.
I know, but I'm Jewish.
It's okay.
Because you're such a cutie.
Don't mess my hair. God damn it. Fix it. Fix my hair.
This is the most uncomfortable thing I think I've ever seen. Pro AI, pro humanity. Okay, so this is a fucking chud we're watching from this. Yeah, it was shared by Milo. So like, yes, no, you do hear a cat who is yelling at me for food. Can we see the cat? You all just, you turn into fucking Werner Herzog in The Mandalorian anytime the cat I would like to see the baby. That's what you are. That's what you're doing, chat. Show me the baby. I would like to see the baby. No. Puppy Girl Uvu, you are absolutely correct. This is, so look, people, we've talked here about people in chat having game, not having game, feeling insecure, talking to people, and I want you, Kat, in a moment, I will hold you in a second. Yes, she is actually Jewish. I want you to consider for a moment that you will probably never be worse than this. Ostensibly, I think was this year, 30-plus-year-old woman talking to what looks like I'm gonna say this twink. It looks like some fucking groiper 21-year-old. Who does not know how to, like, this is absolute. I don't know who the fuck this is. This looks like a Fuentes follower, and I say that only because he does not understand. Like, granted, this is Laura Loomer, so you're grading on a curve here, but does not understand how to like deal with physical affection or physical touch or physical contact from a person, because you can still navigate this without being like a weirdo, you know? Like you can still respectfully turn down somebody who's kind of overstepping these bounds. But what you're kind of seeing here is that he is just like almost going into panic mode. Thank you very much, D. Dobler, for $2.49. Uncomfortable moment with the White House Strangler. Yeah. Joey Staley. My only game I have is to talk about my dumb special interest till the other person kisses me at his work 3 times. That vid is like a decade old? Get the fuck out, really? Why is it just coming out now? Yeah, no, I like everything. Look, again, certain sciences, like if you ever hear somebody talk about like, body movement experts or body language experts, that is a pseudoscience that is generally, it's kind of like, what are the truth telling graphs? The come on, chap. Polygraphs. Thank you, Puppy Girl Uvo. Like they are not admissible in court generally because you can encounter somebody who just knows how to like counteract them as testimony. That being said, the reason why I think a lot of people are inclined to believe in the validity of things like body and behavioral sciences or body language expertise is because sometimes it's really fucking obvious. Like, sometimes it's really fucking obvious. And this is a perfect case in point. When if you were to do the whole line thing where you show, like, okay, who has the dominant and the submissive body language, it's this guy. This guy.
Don't mess my hair. God damn it. Fix it.
I disagree.
Fix my hair.
I disagree completely.
Did you fix it?
I did. But like that picture you posted on Instagram recently when you got like reinstated on Facebook was so hot. Like, seriously.
I appreciate it.
It's so good.
It's a good picture.
Your skin and then that.
My God. She's just, if you're wondering what she's doing, she's just sitting on her tower that I bought for her and the house that I pay for her with the roof over her head with two things full of food, both wet and dry, that I have recently filled, and she wants to be fed. And she is demanding it of me. If you're wondering what the cat... I do need to, in fairness, I do need to go to... I know. I need to go to the store and get her more of the food that she really likes. Your skin. Exfoliated to the skin on this man. Yeah, somebody said maybe drunk. I'm gonna need to up that on the ticker. Feed the goddamn cat. She already has food. She's just gonna waste it. I do need to go get more of the secondary wet food because she has a prescription wet food that I get because she had a UTI. It's basically a lifelong thing for her, and so she does have prescription food, but since losing her teeth, she has not like wanted to eat as much, so I've started getting her some the Fancy Feast like pate and kind of mixing the two to help save I'll give her like a slice, so like one of the three, because the pate is coming like two chunks of goop, and she loves the gravy off of them. Anyway, gross little animal. I love you so much. You're so gross. Magar, thank you very much for $5. If Loomer touched my hair, I would turn into Shelley Duvall from the stair scene. How old is she? I think she's around 11 or 12.
Nazis hate me.
It's fun.
The alt-right people want to put me in a gas chamber.
Okay, wow, this just got really fucking sad, dude. Oh no, we had all of her teeth taken out. Yeah, she had dental disease, and so we got like, and I actually just paid it off. A little pain in the ass. I would have paid down most of my debt by now if not for that operation. But I just paid that off with the last check, so money is tight, but it's fine. Oh, I'm sorry just to be here. My 15-year-old cat died last week. I am sure they had a wonderful life. Yeah, no, she's fucking smashed. All right.
And the Nazis hate me.
It's fun.
The alt-right people want to put me in a gas chamber because they're obsessed with the Jews.
I think they're just memeing on you, but it's okay.
I think they're just memeing on you, so he is almost certainly some kind of groiper. But, like, why is she... First off, this guy's face, hysterical. Yeah, no, she's just, like, hanging on to him like a koala. Like, this is her eucalyptus right now. She's just like... And all he's trying to do is wriggle away. Okay, I'm going to give her a little bit of food because I think she's feeding off the attention now. Oh my God, they're working on thing that might extend kitty lifespans to like 20 or 30. I don't see, here's the problem with that. I don't want to, like, I'm not going to conspiracy theorize about like a Planet of the Apes situation, but feral cat colonies that last for 20 or 30 years is a scary idea. Like that's kind of terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. The meows, yes. What? Okay, well, come over here. Watch this. No, not you, dingus. Not you, lady. Your sister. Your sister. Okay. What? Ow. Ow. Cat, fuck. All right, here. Here is the kitten, everybody. And she just wants to be held. Yep, that's what she wanted. Is that what you want? You want to say some words to your adoring fans? Hey, baby. Okay, little baby. Yep, she's just purring now. She's just purring. What a little booger. Yeah, you're being a bug. You are. What? She's gonna knock my headset off with her cuddles. You are such a little butt. Hello. Hello, cat. Hello, little baby. You are. You're knocking my headset off, shithead. I love you. And Mike. All right, you want to come up, say hi too? You want to say hi on camera? What? Lady said no. I do not want to. I do not want. Cat. I know. Cat, you're pissing off your sister. Is that a cat? Yes, it is. I am very excited now that I have a second webcam. Once I get another USB dock and set up the next computer, we will finally be able to have Lady Cam. Not quite yet, because I can't really manage two what's the word? Cat. Oh my god, dude. The cameras, fuck. There we go. Lady, you are fine, honey. You are fine. The cat is not hurting me. You are okay. Cat is kind of hurting me, though, because she is scratching my back. Hello. Yes. Okay, you. Alright, I'm taking you down. Yeah, I gotta clip your nails today. I gotta clip your nails. There you go. Just stay right there. I'm gonna give you pets. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Okay, let's keep watching this fucking nightmare together.
It's okay. I don't care. I love it.
It'd be like that sometimes.
I know. They're just jealous because they have big tits and an Ashkenazi IQ.
Okay, so one of the things that you do, and I think pickup artists kind of do this. When you want to, for example, take somebody home or hook up with somebody at a party, you do what is called the icebreaker, right? And this is a classic move, where you float an idea that is not sex, but it is sex adjacent, right? And it's kind of a thing to get somebody either check if they're interested, gauge their interest. It's kind of like an unspoken, hey, I'm into you or you into me type deal. And it usually happens after a couple of drinks. And generally, you should, if something like this were to happen after an icebreaker, that was an icebreaker, by the way. A woman drunkenly complimenting, if you need, because I know there are a lot of people out there who, they might be bad socially. They might not pick up on social cues. They might not really get when somebody is flirting with them or like, does this person actually like me? If a woman is touching your hair, calling you beautiful, and then talking about her tits to you in this proximity, that's been several icebreakers, honestly. Thank you very much, Nehemiah, for another $5. I would like to apologize on behalf of all Ashkenazim. Ohio Skibbity Riz. This is the Ohio Skibbity Riz. Yeah. It is. It is. I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal. Hey, lady, knock it off. Stop it. There's an icebreaker in the way. The Titanic is an icebreaker. Both of you, two people come with Titanic icebreaker jokes back to back in the chat. Yeah, that's just fucking crazy. Is that an invitation for a smooch? No, see, okay. If she was talking to somebody with Riz, or if she was somebody with Riz, the proper move in this case, well, okay, for somebody this drunk, the proper move is you don't really engage, because this is, I feel like she is, I don't know how much she's had to drink in this video, but I feel like she has crossed a point where, if you think somebody's judgment is in any way impaired, which is a slippery slope and is meant to be, like even just a little bit, you don't engage with that person, right? Like sexually that night at all. Like that's just it. So like it's already kind of in a weird position of where do you go from here is like, I would simply not find myself here with Laura Loomer, with anybody. It's kind of a simple solution. But from here, in a perfect world where they are not both plastered, which I think it's just her being plastered in this. In a better world, the thing to do from here would be to reciprocate a compliment, right? Because what they're doing, as ice breaking goes, and this is becoming more of a weird break. I'm kind of ended up breaking down her pickup approach, pickup tips with Laura Loomer. What should be done after my partner just looked at me from the room is that if somebody says, oh yeah, people just hate me because I've got big tits, what that's doing is calling attention to a physical asset or aspect that they want you to find attractive. So what you would do there is this is a choice A, choice B situation where you either completely don't remark on that, let it go by, and again, if somebody wasn't plastered, they would take that as okay, they're not interested. Or if you were interested in that moment, you would agree with them, right? Because that is them calling attention to something that they are either proud of or something that they know is sexually desirable. And then by you agreeing with that, you are going, yes, that is sexually desirable in some way. So the hookup icebreaker tradition goes. Yeah, exactly. Leftist Jijiro, you got it. Jeez, cat got cat fur all over me. Been there where somebody was way too drunk and trying to take someone home, landed on me for some reason. Basically, I looked at the bartender, a friend of mine, and between the two of us, we got her an Uber home. Yeah, I've seen that happen many times. I've talked about how I used to work as I worked briefly as a bartender, but I used to work bar security, and working bar security at a predominantly college bar, you see it a lot. You see a lot of failed icebreakers. You see a lot of people who can't take a hint. Like you see a lot of people who can't. The fascinating part about this is that there is a saying for a reason that dick is plentiful. And in what's the, how does it go, babe? Low value or something.
Is the mind killer?
Dick is the mind killer? No. Never mind. Why did I, never mind. Plenty of dick in the sea. It is this idea of like the quote unquote sexual value of men and women is kind of inverted, where there's no shortage for any woman, really. There is no shortage of potential male suitors, right? So it is inversely so much more telling how desperate Laura is coming off here. Dick is the mind killer. Low value dick. There you go. Yeah, dick socks are in hell. Fear of dick is the mind killer. It's true. Koa just gave you snaps.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. You got it.
Anyway, next time you're in New York, let me know. We'll hang out. Bring
Jesus Christ. What? All right, we're gonna go back through this because he's I don't want to say he's fumbling, right? Because at the end of the day, we're talking about Laura Loomer. So I think it's in some circumstances, this would be more of a bullet, or this would be more of a fumble. This is more like a bullet dodge situation, I feel. Gray's streams, thank you very much for following.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah. You got it.
Anyway, next time you're in New York, let me know. We'll hang out. Bring your girlfriend to New York sometime, and we'll all hang out. We'll go to like really cool restaurants and hang out, and we'll have a blast.
Yes, I will bring my girlfriend.
Yeah, I want to meet.
That is so fucking pointed. That is so fucking funny. Did she? I'm so curious how many like people in relationships she's made cheat, or how many people she has quote unquote tempted to cheat. Because like her acknowledging he has a girlfriend after saying all of this is not a friendly like, oh, we're just joking around. That's digging. That is okay. So in Magic the Gathering, there's this mechanic called Surveil, where you look at the top card of your library, however many it says you surveil, you decide, does that go into your graveyard or does it go back on top? And so what people will do if they build a surveil deck around this is they do this thing called digging, right? Where they will surveil until they hit something that they want, and then they'll keep that on top. This is a lot like that, where she is digging to find the clues that she wants if she can go home with this person tonight. And the clue that she is trying to angle for right now is like, so like, are you and your girlfriend on like good terms? Are you still going to have a girlfriend when you come to New York? Or would she be into a 3? Maybe. I mean, who's to say? And yeah, we out here scrying for answers. Is she hoping he'll cheat or hoping for a threesome? Probably a little column A, a little column B. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. Yeah, are you in an open relationship? Can I unicorn, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Yeah. Like, it's almost an inverted, hey, my partner and I saw you from across the bar and we like your vibe type thing.
What's Becca?
And he is absolutely, like, the way in which he emphasized the syllable on girlfriend. I want you to listen to that again, because that is the most... He couldn't have been any more clear if he yelled, fuck off, into her face.
We'll all hang out. We'll go to like really cool restaurants and hang out, and we'll have a blast.
Yes, I will bring my girlfriend.
Yeah, I want to meet Becca.
Yeah.
Becca.
Yes.
She's so sweet.
You remember.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, you remembered. He says, just completely deflated. Like knowing, I am sure, because there was a skip somewhere in the video. I'm sure that at some point he brought up his girlfriend in an effort to dissuade her, whether the girlfriend is real or not, and it did nothing to her. That's so fucking funny. Somebody asking, oh, you remember Becca? Then what the fuck was all this? Becca's not here. I don't see a Becca. Like, so to her, Everything is fair game. Like right now.
Of course.
Yes, you'll meet her.
You guys are so sweet. I hope it works out because, like I said.
That fucking zoom in. Like a fucking office scene is diabolical. This guy just watching and looking to the camera and just kind of being like, while this other guy gets chatted up by a visibly drunk Laura Loomer. All right, we gotta watch this again. Let me see if I can zoom it in for y'all. There we go. So I'm hoping y'all can see this a little bit better.
You remember?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, you'll meet her.
You guys are so sweet. I hope it works out because, like I said, I know it's all an act. Like, I know everything you do on Twitter is like so fake and not real, but
yeah,
like
it's all fake.
It's so sweet that you like and your girlfriend have been together for 3 years. I love it.
I know it's all an act.
Do you know, like?
She's so close. She's so close. That's so fucking funny. That's so funny. That. She looks like she's about to vampire bite him in the neck. Like, she looks like at any moment she is about to just chomp down on some prime Midwestern fail twink. Hey, lady. What are you doing, goofer?
Do you know something? Like, I'm gonna tell you a secret. Like, do you know so many people in this movement who preach trad life are like fucking people on the side? And
A word? A worm?
preach trad life are like fucking people on the side and like cheating on their partners. Like,
Oh, it's so great. So many people are cheating. Again, she is just fucking, oh, this is so embarrassing. This is
so bad.
like they're not even like really trad life. So many people in this movement who preach trad life are like fucking people on the side and like cheating on their partners.
That's
like,
so bad.
Like they're not even like really trad life.
Such
Like,
scum.
like my ex is like dating somebody who's like super trad life, and she was like fucking my boyfriend while we were dating, and like
I'm she's on the rebound, chat. This seems like on the rebound.
our relationship, and I act like it's okay, but like it's really sad because like I love when people like keep, you know, tradition in their relationships. It's just really sad.
Before she became a Satanist. What? All right, I need to find. I'm gonna see if Milo has more on this because that is so fucking funny. All right, found the full 2-minute version of this. Milo, not cool. From George Santos, of all fucking people. Milo saying she's a violent, disgusting pig for who no indignity is too great. Jesus. I just found the hard drive on which the complete 27-minute version resides. Maybe I'll upload as a special Thanksgiving treat. Nehemiah, thank you very much for $5. Look, dude, looks like if Nicholas Holt was in a Nazi propaganda poster. That's a pretty good read. That's a pretty fucking good read. No, Storytailor43, the person filming this did a wonderful job of not losing her shit. Let me tell you, when you get, I've talked about this before with like my, yeah, that is the one and only George Santos criticizing Milo Yiannopoulos' behavior. Just a real fucking rogues gallery here. The thing is, when you are filming something and you realize you're filming gold, you get serious, right? Like you get a poker face real fucking quick. Anytime I've ever filmed something that I was like, oh, okay, no, this is going in the doc. This is going in the video. It doesn't matter what they're saying, you are locked in. It is the most serious thing. So I completely understand. Whoever filmed this, I think it might have been Milo, being able to keep it on lock. Huh? Okay. Who has a pic of when she was a dude? Apparently, they're transvestigating Lauren Flumer. Flumer? Why did I say Flumer? Laura Loomer. Jesus Christ. I think I saw flirting, and I went Flumer. This guy's fucking face is so funny to me. Oh, man. Another young man? Oh, because they probably think that Laura Loomer is trans or whatever. Charlie Kirk phenotype. That is so... That's... Yep, that's... sorry, that's pretty fucking good. Yeah, we really have... In the wake of the wonderful holiday season, I've brought you a cornucopia of stories that remind us, even though the people residing and ruling over us are incredibly stupid, evil, have no charisma, can't seem to understand when no is the answer, as we just saw with Laura Loomer. They're also deeply funny in both their insecurities, how those things manifest, their performativeness. I want to talk about, I put out a video a little while ago. It didn't get the love I would have liked, but how our government is essentially run by influencers. We have a influencer organized government right now. And I can't think of a better example of that than Kash Patel. Which is why I wanted to read this again. First real going through it, and then we're going to get to the college paper, what called trans people demonic, and got a trans TA fired. We'll talk about that next. According to a new report from active duty and retired FBI agents, there was a bit of an issue when Patel arrived in Provo, Utah in the aftermath of the Kirk assassination. He would not leave the plane without an FBI raid jacket. They found a female special agent's jacket for him, but it did not have Velcro patches. He demanded that too. So, if you'll remember, just a brief timeline of events. As soon as Charlie Kirk was killed, Kash Patel wasn't on the ground, boots on the ground immediately. He was actually eating dinner. Took a while to even finish up. Then went. Upon arriving, proceeded to just fuck bungle the entire investigation. He was large part of the reason why people were saying, oh, the shooter is motivated by trans ideology. The shooter is a trans person. All that shit. So it is so additionally funny that when his friend was just shot and killed, and he is in charge of the apparatus that dictates how best to go about solving this crime, not only does he fuck it up nearly every step of the way, in ways that, if you go and watch that video, very may likely undermine the case against Charlie Kirk's actual shooter. But he was so insecure. And honestly, I don't know if this is... It almost certainly is insecurity on Kash Patel's part. But I feel like it's almost more of a case of, like, a kid wanting to wear, like, a fireman's hat when they go to the firehouse. You know, like, you're in the place, you want to do the thing. Oh, you've been looking for... You've always... Like, I feel like Kash Patel is the adult version of somebody, the manifestation of somebody saying, I've always wanted to do this. I've always wanted to slide down the firehouse pole. I've always wanted to wear an FBI tactical raid vest. I've always wanted to do this. And you know what? He saw his opportunity and he seized it, and he would not get off the plane until somebody brought him a woman's tac vest. It's just, if you are in charge of the FBI fucking I, and your one job is to solve a crime, or you know what, at the very least, foster a public confidence that the crime will be solved, the way to do that is not to rely on cosplay, essentially. Because that's what this is, by the way. There was no raid announced. There was no need for him to go on a raid. He just wanted to look cool for reporters, for photo ops. This is not what a responsible anybody does with anything. Alpha 99 said said after his plane landed, director Kash Patel would not disembark. Note, based on Alpha 99's reporting, apparently did not have his own FBI raid jacket with him and refused to step from the plane without wearing one. Why? Oh, why? Because fucking Kash Patel's next? Come on, dude. That would fit FBI director Kash Patel, a medium-sized one. That's so funny. There were large and extra... large wouldn't fit him. Personnel searching for a medium-sized raid jacket finally found one. That raid jacket belonged to one of the FBI female special agents. Was then delivered to Kash Patel, but as he was inspecting, he noticed two areas that did not have Velcro patches attached. He said, Alpha 99 said director Kash Patel then reportedly said he would not leave until he had two patches to cover those areas. According to Alpha 99, members of an FBI SWAT team took patches off their uniforms and ran them to the FBI director. Patches were then attached to the loaner raid jacket, and FBI director Kash Patel disembarked from the plane. That's so... So this is from New York Post. Damning report labels FBI rudderless ship under Kash Patel, with him and Dan Bongino more concerned with building personal resumes. Oh, shit. Damn. Chat, if only there was a YouTuber who had a whole video about this. You should go check it out. You should go check out my video on and not support trash like the fucking New York Post, even though I'm reading from them right now. Does the FBI not have better things to do? Oh, the FBI does. Kash Patel does not. Like this is what happens when you put somebody with literally no reason to be in a position of power in said position of power. A troubling new report card on the first 6 months of Patel's leadership concludes he is in over his head, and his deputy, Dan Bongino, is something of a clown. Oh, no shit. According to the Alliance, which in two previous reports warned about crippling DEI and politicization of the FBI, the Patel-led FBI is described in the 115-page report as a rudderless ship and, quote, all fucked up. That is such a fucking funny thing to file in an actual report. Like, hey, how's it going over with Patel? And the response is just, shit is all fucked up. It is just all fucking Twitter-pated. Another source, a self-professed Trump supporter, said Patel is not very good, maybe insecure, and lacks the requisite experience or the measured confidence to be FBI director. Additional source describes him as very personable and likable, while noting he created a culture of mistrust and uncertainty among the ranks. That seems like kind of damning with faint praise. He's accused of giving premature public remarks that potentially jeopardize the investigation, taking credit for the work of other agencies when the subject was arrested, and yelling and swearing at the agent in charge. Both he and Bongino were criticized for arrogance and unfortunate obsession with social media. One source said they need to stop talking, stop posing, and just be professional. Another said they are spending too much time on social media and public relations and are often too concerned with building their own personal resumes. Let's fucking go, chat. This is from... Okay. Reporting and analysis of the FBI under Kash Patel. Pulse check of the first 6 months through August 21st for the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Senator Chuck Grassley, and the House Committee on the Judiciary, Jim Jordan, by a National Alliance of Retired and Active Duty FBI Agents. Jesus Christ. Trump derangement syndrome is alive and well. It's so fucking funny that even though this is for and by MAGA Republicans, and is still like, oh yeah, Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing, they still cannot avoid the truth that, like, their guys are fucking dumbasses. Analyzing reports from 24 FBI sources with anecdotes to illustrate troubling themes. The case of the medium-sized raid jacket is one example. I love how they titled it like a fucking Hardy Boys novel. Ambiday, thank you very much for following. Yeah, we just read all about this. Jacket trouble. Patel did not make a positive impression. The director was not happy with the way the investigation was going, had yelled at Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and directed a, quote, expletive-laden tirade over perceived blunders in the case. Bongino later called Bowles and apologized, saying that this never should have happened. Jesus Christ. In another situation at the FBI Academy in Quantico, Patel was said to be upset when he heard about a, quote, discussion that took place among a few dozen FBI personnel about his request to be issued an FBI firearm. I can't, chat. I can't with this fucking guy. Okay, so when details of the discussion were leaked, Patel ordered everyone to get polygraphs to find out who had criticized him, according to the source, who is described as a highly respected leader and person of integrity. Alpha 95 was dismayed by the order to conduct polygraph examinations, which were needlessly, quote, punitive. Man, that's so fucking funny. To demonstrate the internal resistance facing Patel, the report says, quote, Trump derangement syndrome remains alive and well under left-leaning factions embedded within the ranks of the FBI. Like, I fucking wonder why FBI personnel openly express disdain for the president when these jackasses are the ones fucking running the show. Like, somebody who had no expertise as an investigator, somebody who did not, like a lot of FBI agents, go specifically to college for things like criminal pathology and forensic analysis and shit like that. So none of that. Didn't have to go through the often arduous training that a lot of FBI agents and special agents have to go through. Didn't have to go through firearm training, any of this shit. And suddenly, like, you wake up one day as an FBI agent and this jagoff podcaster is your boss because he wrote a fucking children's book sucking off Trump. Right? And then the dude is like, okay, but what if I had a gun? I won't leave without a raid jacket because I need to look cool. Okay. Televisions and FBI field offices are reported to have been tuned to leftist channels and CNN, but not Fox News. The report, subtitled "A Pulse Check of the First 6 Months," will be presented to the House and Senate Judiciary Committees this week. Quote, "It was never intended to be a hit piece in any way, shape, or form," says the authors, who requested anonymity to avoid jeopardizing their positions. Quote, "But the anecdotal reporting from FBI personnel skewed 80-20 negative." Oh, man. So what are they going to do? Are they going to just fucking get rid of 80% of the FBI because they don't like them? And then, I don't know, I'm sure they have enough ICE dipshits that they can fucking funnel in there. One source described immigration raids in which the FBI says ICE is, quote, "overwhelmingly successful." Disgusting. Casework and threats are now the priority. Even most of those assigned to FBI headquarters who are being kicked out due to field knowledge, the reprioritization is a positive move. Would like nothing more than the FBI and Patel to succeed for the greater good and nation. Jesus. They conclude by advising the notoriously thin-skinned Patel and Bongino to heed the criticism if they want to succeed. I would love, God, I hope there, is that, so this was, when was this? Is that this week the Senate Judiciary is overhearing Patel? Yeah, so, okay, let me see. When can I find when that's going to be? Because I do want to watch that. That's going to be funny as shit. House and Senate Judiciary Committees. Okay. What the fuck do these motherfuckers do? Hearings calendar holding rogue judges accountable. Cool, dude. What? Fuck, man. All right, this is the... That is not today. Ooh, pizza sounds good as fuck. Hey, babe. That's me. Do you want to get pizza before you gotta go to rehearsal? Where? What? Where? I don't know. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking pizza until you just said pizza right now.
Does pizza sound good?
I could share a pizza.
We'll share a pizza. God, I wish we had a Little Caesars down here.
We have a Little Caesars up north.
I know, it's too far away. Did we already talk about the Oklahoma girl? No, we're talking about her right now. But first... What?
I'm sorry, I have brain worms.
I know you have brain worms, honey.
Is that Fuji apple also?
No, this is orange.
I don't care about it. Actually, the orange one's good if it's like tangy.
Do you want it?
Yeah.
Okay, you can have the rest, because lady fucking... Oh, your makeup looks so pretty.
Thank you. You look so pretty.
No, you look so pretty.
No, you.
Mwah. Love you.
Love you. Spilled juice all over, Mom.
Yes, she spilled most of my juice. She said I would never do that. I'm just a little baby.
Alrighty, chat. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick. Then we will be right back and start talking about this. Okay, I didn't... yeah, Koa didn't know that I had muted this when chat was... Oh, tuna melt pizza. Oh, that sounds good. What are you looking at?
Tuna melt pizza?
Tuna melt pizza. Alrighty, chat. So this is the moment you've all been waiting for. Break to look into how to make turkey stew with a carcass. Might have been great every year, but I want to go beyond my usual. I mean, like a turkey carcass, right? And I imagine it would be a matter of like making all the meat melt, not melt, but like fall off the bone and just going from there. Okay. So let me... Yeah, we were already out of that. So let's talk about on social media in the last day or so, there's been a lot of discussion of this case where a student wrote what can only honestly be described as one of the worst papers of all time. Receiving a failing grade and then claiming it was discrimination for their Christian beliefs. As a result, the trans teacher, or I guess teacher's assistant, so trans TA, has been placed on administrative leave pending an investigation. The fun part about this is that we're going to read the paper. And it is so incredibly apparent that this was also kind of just a setup from a hit job. The student themselves has a mom who is like a conservative influencer of some kind. Is the essay available to read? Oh boy. Isn't it? For some reason, the Turning Point chapter of Oklahoma University, yes, that is TPUSA, as in the same that was given to us by Charlie Kirk. Everywhere I go, I see his face. Just everything reminds me of him. And what? My partner just gave me a look. For some reason, they decided it would be a good idea to make a long-ass post and show off the entire essay. Now, if this were just the first half of this story where, Christian conservative student thinks they're being discriminated against and trans professor on leave, that's the narrative the conservatives are running with. The problem is that it is incredibly undermined when you actually read the quote-unquote essay, which we will do in a moment. I want to get through this article from them, though. Just going over the broad points. The University of Oklahoma has placed a transgender teaching assistant on admin leave after she gave a student no credit for an essay that called trans identities, quote, demonic, and claimed that gender roles are biblically ordained. OU student Samantha Fulnecki filed a religious discrimination complaint in November, alleging the graduate psychology student Mel Kurth inappropriately handed her a failing grade for a reaction essay to assigned reading that involved gender roles in society. Fulnecki's essay, shared this weekend by the OU chapter of Turning Point USA, claimed that gender stereotypes reflect, quote, God's original plan for humans, and that children should be raised to believe they do not belong to themselves, but they belong to the Lord. So, couple of problems with this. Oh, hey, Jinx Monsoon. Couple of problems with this. The first is that that's not how asserting facts works in an academic setting, right? God, these are so... I don't want to read too many of the fucking quotes because we're going to read the whole thing. Kurth's response, also published by Turning Point, states she had deducted points not because of Fulnecki's beliefs, but for, quote, posting a reaction paper that does not answer the questions for the assignment, contradicts itself, heavily uses personal ideology over empirical evidence in a scientific class, and is at times offensive. So that is perfect rubric for why a paper would get a failing grade, right? And honestly, I don't know if it would have been worse if it was written with AI. Honestly, I think it would have been better. It would have been a better paper because it wouldn't have had such dumbass bullshit in it if AI was just stealing other people's ideas. But no, these are homegrown dipshit ideas. Quote, you are entitled to your own beliefs, but this isn't a vague narrative of society pushes lies, but instead the result of countless years developing psychological and scientific evidence for these claims and directly interacting with communities involved, Kurth wrote to Fulnecki. You may personally disagree with this, but that doesn't change the fact that every major psychological, medical, pediatric, and psychiatric association in the U.S. acknowledges that, biologically and physically, sex and gender is neither binary nor fixed. And so, in a statement posted on X on Sunday, OU administrators wrote that Kurth had been placed on admin leave while the school investigates, remains firmly committed to fairness, respect, and protecting every student's right to express sincerely held religious beliefs. So a lot of people kind of have jumped down OU's throat for this, but they kind of don't have any recourse. When a quote-unquote serious allegation of any stripe is filed, this is generally what happens. Somebody is placed on leave pending an investigation. So I don't have too much bad to say about that, unless it's eventually shown or their investigation comes up with nothing. Like if they sincerely say that, oh, this was good faith and this was discrimination, then that is very obviously bullshit. Which, again, kind of jumping the gun. We'll see when we get to the essay. Social media. Turning Point's post about Fulnecki sparked a firestorm over the weekend as some conservatives, including Fulnecki's mother, admitted they were targeting Kurth because she is trans. Turning Point's original post about Kurth accused her of being mentally ill. Just kind of slipping up there. Probably not the best things to be saying when there's a investigation on if these beliefs are genuinely held. Like if you are accusing somebody of discriminating towards you, you probably shouldn't be rampantly taking part in a machine that is discriminating towards them and a shit ton of people like them. Individuals, Jesus Christ. Individuals who identify as trans should be automatically disqualified from holding any position as teacher or professor, wrote Canadian anti-trans activist Chris Elston, a.k.a. Billboard Chris, on Twitter last week. Quote, agreed. Proud of my daughter, wrote Christy Fulnecki, Samantha's mother, in a reply. Fulnecki is an attorney who Jesus Christ. Fulnecki is an attorney who previously represented Jan 6 writer Christopher Joseph Quaglin. Oklahoma State Rep Gabe Wooley, a Republican who calls himself a former member of the LGBTQ community, similarly called for Kurth to be barred. Oh, man. Okay. So, we at Turning Point OU stand behind Samantha. Transgender professor fails student for quoting the Bible in her essay. Yeah, that's why. That's why. It is this thing that fucking, like, this is like Alex Jones shit. This is the type of shit that Alex Jones does, where they'll be like, oh, they're just, they don't want kids to be praying in schools. They want to take the Ten Commandments and they want to turn your kids gay. And your kid will go to class and come home with a sex change operation. It's just like, that's not how anything fucking works. You know, it's the same thing with like the third trimester abortion bullshit, where it's like, that's not how any of this fucking works. And you can't explain that to these people because they simply do not believe that. They do not follow the same tangible reality we all do. Magar, thank you for $5. Last time I checked, God's original plans for humans did not include marriage or gender roles, and then after Jesus said no marriage in heaven. Interesting. As Blair White noted, also, when trying to justify being both Christian and trans, she said something to the effect of, because there is a verse that, like, there's no man or woman, all are one in Christ or the Holy Spirit or something like that. So, like, there's a fair amount of stuff like that. God's Not Dead 5. G. Papagio, there's already a God's Not Dead 5. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break this to you. There's already a God's Not Dead 5. What you're thinking about is God's Not Dead 6.
God's Not Dead 666.
Oh, no, I want that.
God's Not Dead the musical?
Ooh, God's Not Dead the musical isn't bad. All right, where's the other? I wanted 4 or 5. Where's the other ones? Come on now. Is this 4 or 5? Is it 1?
In God's Not Dead
3.
5, did they make the G the 5, so it's like Favad's Not Dead?
I want the full. That's the full essay. Those 4 shots. Oh, right, because it was fucking. I just remembered. It's like 650 words. I'm like, this is nothing. This is no words at all. But no, I think this is the full thing. Hey, cutie. Where you going? Come here. Come give me a little smoochins. Hey,
I'm
pretty.
going to say to read you homework to do.
What?
I want to know what it says. Go on. For the class.
Oh, you want to know what it said? Okay.
Yeah.
God's Not Dead, the animated series. The 650 words is a lot the midnight before it's due. I would believe that if I was still in 7th grade. I have been, like, it is so, I don't know, it is low-key very funny considering that, like, so this morning I did, like, 3 hours of writing for both the AI piece and then I worked a bit more on the Destiny piece. I'm hoping to have the Destiny piece, I really want to get it in a shape where it's recording by the end of the week. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully that'll be like a nice Christmas present to everybody. But when I'm writing, I kind of keep tab on just like, how much have I actually done in a day. And I will write, like if I have a good writing day, like today I did probably 2,200 words between the two pieces. And it's like, I'm blazing, that's over 3 hours, and that's with, I'm pausing to do research, I'm pausing to corroborate stuff, I am not just writing all that out at once. And that is still not now, at where I am now, that does not register as like, damn, whew, I did a lot of writing today. That registers as like, I did some writing today. Like I went back through like some of my scripts last year and I was like, fuck, I could have written a proper like dense novel with all of my scripts. And it kind of the same thing for this year. Zod's Not Dead. Cooking. Yeah, anyway. So here is Samantha's essay, and I want to convey once more. This is a college level essay. And if you've spent any amount of time in college like I have, you very quickly realize that college is not necessarily a place for smart people. It is a place for people. Wait, what?
You said college, so I yelled "Go Buffs."
Okay, thank you, babe. Koa would like to contribute to the conversation. Go Buffs.
Go Buffs.
I hope you all heard that. For anybody in Colorado, that one's big ups to my buff heads. College isn't a place for necessarily smart people. It is a place for people with money more than anything else. Or if, like me, you went to community college, less money and scholarships / grants, which is the route I took to my prestigious 2-year degree. And so, like, the thing that you realize is that so many... The idea of college being this place of academic rigor is kind of oversold. It's honestly not that different from high school, in my experience. Granted, community college, not a proper university, not a proper, like I did not, there was no hazing. I was not part of any sororities or fraternities or anything like that. But there is still a, there is a modicum of effort necessitated by this. I don't want to do too much on this because one of the things I talk about in the AI essay I'm writing is how the point we're at where there's something so weird happening in education where as AI gets quote unquote better, it is becoming harder for AI recognizing programs to recognize when writing is AI. So it's becoming harder to tell when students are using AI. And a ton of students are using AI. So many students are using AI. So, and teachers are also using AI to grade shit. So what you have are these bizarre feedback loops that are developing where people will go to college ostensibly to pay a shit ton of money to technically learn things, or at the very least walk away with a diploma that says, hey, you learned this thing, you are qualified for this, and this, right? But now we've created this system that is really just a natural evolution of the college system, which was never for education, but for a status symbol, right? This is why you have people who go to college and will just be able to fucking flunk or bare minimum their way through because they're, you know, our family has always gone to Yale and all that shit. Where legacy admissions are like a massive thing. So in turn, making this less of a endeavor that is knowledge for the sake of acquiring knowledge, learning more about the world for the sake of acquiring, you know, knowledge about the world and being more well-rounded, which is technically the way that college and education started. What we now have, and AI is just kind of facilitating the acceleration of this, what we now have is a system where people just pay to get a status symbol. Like that is the simplest way to do it. So like, why would you not just use AI for both ends of that? Like why would you not? Like it's like when it hasn't been a marker of genuine growth, a marker of genuine like achievement and intelligence for, I would say, kind of lifetimes at this point, at least not in like the mainstream sense. And so like I this type of shit you see a lot more than you might think in college. Like college is not the... Hey baby, what are you doing? All right, I'm gonna give lady some food real quick. Hey baby. Yeah, you want a little bit of food? So in addition to giving in addition to kind of like giving a little bit of a sneak peek into the AI essay I'm doing, I bring that up to talk about how like it's not as valuable as it once was, and broadly, you don't got to be smart to get into college. And I want to preface that because as we read through this essay, I am brought immediately back to middle school. And I hate this feeling of smugness I get for just being above barely literate, you know? T with Goblins, thank you for 200 bits. I'm a tutor at a university. I'm horrified by the normalization of AI use. My institution's response to prolific AI has been to just include a declaration of AI use cover sheet. Number of students who unwittingly tell on themselves by stating that they use ChatGPT to summarize the readings for them instead of actually engaging with these ideas make me deeply angry. Neoliberalism turns unis into degree factories. Yeah, exactly. It's this, like... You hit the nail right on the head, because when you have these ideas, you know, and I think it is why we, again, I talked about it last stream, where we're creating a more and more frictionless society, and we shouldn't be surprised when people then react as they've been, you know, engineered their entire lives through algorithms, through people feeding them slop and all of this other shit on social media at a constant barrage. We shouldn't be surprised when people go like, well, yeah, why do I need to engage with a book? Why do I need to read this Joyce shit? Like, why? And then the knock-on effect from that, from not understanding the value of education and culture for their own sakes as a means to better understanding our place in the world and the world around us, by kind of isolating the importance of the humanities, then you get all of these kind of trickle-down effects where you get a lot of people who don't understand, like, why art is significant because of the effort used to make it, why AI art is not art, you know? Anyway, that's my hot minute on that. Yeah, Mr. Chuck Grape, I think college would be great at making society smarter if there wasn't a financial component involved. I completely agree. One of the things a couple months back, I was reading about this. I don't remember why, but I was reading about monasteries, Catholic monasteries, and translations. Because for a long time, Catholic monasteries were like, before the modern college system, and this is my understanding of a reading from a couple months ago that I did not really dig into a lot more, so feel free to correct me if I have my history buffs out there. But my understanding was that before the modern kind of college system, which has been around for a couple hundred years before that, monasteries were the second best thing. Because what monasteries essentially were is you would, kind of like a Jedi academy, where you would give up your kid, or your kid would be sent off to a monastery. They would become a monk. They would be chaste. They'd be serving God, all that shit. But more importantly, in a time when there was this massive class division between like the ruling class and the peasant class and like farmers and shit, they would be sent to a place where they would get food over their head. They would get meals, clothes, cared for, all that shit. And in exchange, they would be put to fucking work. But a large part of this, because at the time, especially with the Catholic Church, there was kind of like knowledge was forbidden type deal, where, the commoner class, and this was the thing that fucking Martin Luther kind of blew up with, the 95 Theses and the Diet of Worms and the Church door in Wittenberg and all that shit, where Martin Luther, in translating things into a common tongue or more disseminating the Bible, and, you had the Wittenberg Bible and all that stuff, it created the Reformation. That's when, the Reformation started, around the 1600s. And you have this breaking of the status quo, where suddenly everybody can kind of read the Bible for themselves. But before that, to get into a monastery, you had to be, once you were in a monastery, then you would be able to learn to read. You would be able to translate books. That was a massive thing. Brewing beer. Beer is a massive thing in monasteries. Don't know why. Sounds chill. Lady Addis, thank you very much for $10 for context. China has a higher literacy rate than the U.S. at this point. We're actually seeing a decline in reading comprehension across the board within the U.S. It's really scary. Oh, my God. Yeah, one thing I've actually been meaning to talk about has been, I try not to be a dick, generally, because I realize that as I've gotten older, I've tried to be more aware of people's insecurities, not prod at them. It takes a conscious effort for me. Not because I'm like naturally inclined to be a dick, but because stuff will just slip out. And one of the things I've stopped doing, to bring this back to Magic the Gathering, because of course, the amount of people at Magic the Gathering tables who cannot read the names of the cards is galling. And like, look, I get it. Not every card fucking rolls off the tongue. Here, let me give you an example. Asmeronica dice in the Cultigar. Yeah, my partner's popped out of her room. Asmeronica dice in the Cultigar. Let me see. This is a popper deck I made, so I have some cards in here. Because there's, you say, I don't know, these are all very simple words. These are all very simple. Okay, here's a good one. Argothian opportunist, right? Now, if you don't know magic bullshit, you probably haven't read the books. You don't know about like the Forest of Argoth and Gaia and Titania and all that shit. So if you put this down, if I put this card down, I am reading it as it's supposed to be pronounced. Argothian opportunist. The amount of times I have heard people, and this is like, I mean, adults, not teenagers, not kids, adults who look completely normal, who have like good paying jobs, who have like wife and kids or a girlfriend, like who are functional contributing members of society, right? I am not talking about some like stereotype of an internet grognard just because they're playing Magic. I mean just like fully functional, otherwise normal human beings will look at this card and they will do, I've seen grown adults do what children do when they are learning to read, and that is fail to sound out a word, substitute it with the letters that you do recognize, and then just say other words entirely. So instead of Argothian opportunist, they will say operist. And I will sit there and just not be... I just won't say anything. I just won't say anything. And it's worrying. It is scary to have to go through this multiple times and just be like, are you good? There are words that I get, especially in magic shit. Like, if you don't know how to say Nevin Rial, I get it. A lot of it's phonetic. Nib Mizzet isn't that hard. Like, it's right there on the tin. But so much of it is like, dog, what are you doing? Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you so much for all the donos. Esky what 68. Thank you for she terramorphic on my expanse till I come into play tapped. Nehemia, thank you very much for $20. One thing I'm proud of is that Jewish literacy rates have always been fairly high because throughout history we've been taught to question everything, even God's word, i.e. critical thinking. Hope it doesn't sound narcissistic. No, not at all. And that was kind of, that goes in hand with what I was saying about, like, before the college system, we had monks, and granted, a lot of fucking problems with the way medieval scholarship would be handled, and scholarship, and the stranglehold that the church had over, like, literal knowledge and language and, like, a lot of that stuff. But I think there is something to this idea of the valiance of knowledge for the sake of knowledge, the importance of learning for learning's sake, to better understand the world around us and philosophy. Because when you go back through, and this, that's why, because I was reading a philosophy thing and they were talking about fucking Thomas Aquinas. Thomas Aquinas, the reason why, if you ever go into, like, philosophy textbooks or just philosophy conversations, Thomas Aquinas comes up a fucking lot. And so do, like, there are myriad other Italian, Spanish, some German, like, Catholic, I would call them theologians, because they're not quite philosophers, but they come up a lot because for a chunk of history, the only people doing this kind of thinking, the kind of thinking that, Aristotle and Socrates and, like, all these cats were doing before, where thinking was, like, the duty of a philosopher, the only people really doing that shit were Catholics, which is where that kind of ties in together. Thank you very much, Begrackled, for $5. Pre-Great Transformation, the Catholic Church was essentially the managerial state, including the management of education. Yeah. Which, again, like, the idea of any religion overseeing education, Exhibit A of why that would be bad is on your screen right now. But there is something, if we could detach that, I think there is something to bring this all back around to the thing that somebody brought up, is, like, the idea of, like, the problem with modern education is the incentive of money, is that, like, the end result of college has become, and I think most of us heard this growing up, it's even incentivized by military recruitment ads, where the point of college isn't to learn. Nobody is going out there and being like, yeah, join the army. We'll teach you Spanish. We'll fucking teach you Aztec history, or whatever niche subject you want to major in. No, we'll get you a degree, because that's the end point people have come to care about. It is not enough to learn more about the world. It is not enough to sit and think with your thoughts and feelings. This is the reason I'm kind of in my head about this right now is I spent a couple hours this morning also reading. I think I've talked about it before in here, but Hannah Arendt's The Life of the Mind, which is so good, just so good. A really incisive, I got to put Argothian opportunist back. A really just incisive, like, dialogue on the history of, it's not even like linear, so calling it a history is kind of misnomer, because it's not, it's the way that she goes back and forth between stuff is actually really interesting, because she will be talking about Hippocrates and Socrates and all these cats, and talk about the allegory of the plague, the allegory of the cave, Jesus Christ, and then liken that to things that Schopenhauer or Kafka, or talk about. I think today in the chapter I read, she was talking about Nausea by Sartre, which I just read over the summer. So, yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. Kafka, and I really like that she actually ties Kafka into philosophy, because to me, Kafka is one of the authors that, Kafka is my favorite writer, but is one of the authors that gets kind of overshadowed by the other luminaries at the time, the other kind of intellectual heavyweights who were, about to rock the world with shit like, Guy Debord and Baudrillard and all them. But yeah, which book is it again? It's called The Life of the Mind by Hannah Arendt, Arendt. Anyway, yeah, highly, highly recommend it. But one of the things that is so emphasized in delving into these ideas of like cognition and how we perceive things, like the difference between to know and have knowledge of, and to act on it, and will to power, and like all of these things. The fascinating thing is how it kind of wraps into conversations like this, where when you look around us, we do not have this cognition of, I'm going to, one of the things they were talking about was, I think it was Aristotle had the idea of, like, you just got to kind of think by yourself, like it is a high aspiration to be able to just sit alone with your thoughts and think through the things that you are thinking. Is a Curvarnus 7797. Thank you for $4.99. I'm in college for fun at this point. I see no future for myself, so I might as well learn stuff while I can. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. There is, there is value in learning things and sitting with your own thoughts and thinking about what you think and what you know. Knowing what you know and knowing what you think, and having the kind of cognition to distinguish the two. Sasuke-kun 1123, thank you for subscribing. Anyway, that was my little God, sorry for the diversion, everybody. Let's talk about Samantha's essay. Is it beautiful? Because, like, I meant more in a doomer way. No, I think it's beautiful. I think it's wonderful. I think, so one of the things, again, I think it was chapter 15 or 16, because I actually took some notes on the AI piece that I'm working on, from the Hannah Arendt thing, because there was a really good passage where she talks about a lost poem from Pablis is one of the fucking Greek poets who was forgotten to history, and it was a lost but I think partially recovered poem about Zeus. But the point I'm making is that it was the idea in Greek society that to be immortal was the highest aspiration of a human, and the best way that you could do that, to capture some of that godhood, would be to think, to be a philosopher, to philosophize, to think about your place in the world and everybody's place in everything and reality and what comes before and what comes after and all this shit. And I feel like we have lost that, and I think that's kind of part and parcel with why I kind of shake my head every time I see people using ChatGPT for fucking simple Google searches. It's like, okay, so you're taking away even the slightest bit of, like any information you might be able to retain or actually learn from. And it's like, no, being able to learn and better yourself and better your understanding of the world around you is in and of itself a noble pursuit. I strongly think that. I do think it's beautiful. Existential crises. Yeah. Oh my God. Geoduck, geoscience. I know exactly what you mean. All right. So let's finally dig into this shit. This article was very thought-provoking and caused me to thoroughly evaluate the idea of gender and the role it plays in our society. The article discussed peers using teasing as a way to enforce gender norms. I do not necessarily see this as a problem. God made me... Oh my God, this is so fucking... Okay, chat. So one of the things, and this is classic, like 7th grade. I think I learned this shit before 7th grade. But you have the tiered argumentative essay structure, right? Where you have the intro, outro, 3 points in the middle. You discuss each one in a different paragraph, and they move from one to another. This is already fucking that all up. This is just like assertions, and I don't even see like a paragraph break. I didn't see any indenting. God made male and female and made us differently from each other on purpose and for a purpose. Okay, so repetition. God is very intentional with what he makes. That's also just repeating the same shit. You could just cut. See, I'm stuck between two things here. I'm stuck between actually editing the essay to say what it's trying to say in a more concise way. But then the problem is what it's trying to say is also not based in anything but like personal bias and belief. Like there's nothing here that is calling back. If you want to make this argument, sure, you can. But you have to provide some concrete basis and concrete facts. Provide some actual philosophical underpinning. Provide a theologian or a scholar talking about why these things are important to Western culture, to law, where we get these ideas, why they're important. But no, not this. Oh my God, Pierre B, the Pierre B has followed on Twitch. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Pierre B. Hello, how are you doing? See, this is why I stream in the middle of the day. God is very intentional with what he makes, and I believe trying to change... Again, argumentative essays... I believe trying to change that would only do more harm. Okay, well, if you make an assertion, so this is a thing that we see a lot in like the kind of unscripted videos that you see from like we watch a number of videos from chuds and stuff, where they will make an assertion, but it is generally just like a quote unquote a truth that is accepted within their own community, so they don't need to really illuminate it more. And this is where I come in. Where when I am writing things, I can't just make an assertion if I am trying to make a full explanatory video on it, right? Because if I fail in one of those explanations, or if I do not go fully into a controversy and it's actually important for the overall piece, then what is the fucking point? Like, if I'm not being as thorough as possible, why bother? Like, why half-ass this? I believe trying to change that would only do more harm. Gender roles and tendencies should not be considered stereotypes. Women naturally want to do womanly things. So we're just carrying on in a rant format instead of making this assertion and then explaining why. Like, their assertion is that women naturally want to do womanly things. And these are the people who will tell you that your definition of what a woman is somehow self-circular. Yeah, well, you're just defining a definition. Women naturally want to do womanly things because God created us with those womanly desires in our hearts. Repetition again. Same goes for men. God created men in the image of his courage and strength, and he created women in the image of his beauty. He intentionally created women differently than men, and we should live our lives with that in mind. So thus far, we have not even actually, I would have taken at this point, quoting the Bible. I would have. The Bible is a historical document. It is fictional, but it is a historical document, right? They're not even doing that. Because where did they say in the Bible, God created man in the image of his courage and strength? Again, this would be great to have a theologian weigh in on and kind of actually illuminate the thought process here. It is frustrating to me when I read articles like this and discussion posts from my classmates of so many people trying to conform to the same mundane opinion so they do not step on people's toes. Okay, you don't need a comma there. Yeah, you don't need a comma there. Same mundane opinion. So also this kind of backhanded derision towards people because, of course, naturally, I'm not like other girls. I'm a fucking moron. I think that is a cowardly and insincere way to live. Oh, boy. It is important to use the freedom of speech we have been given in this country, and I personally believe that eliminating gender in our society would be detrimental. What the fuck are you talking about? Oh, my God. How do you manage to repeat yourself this much in 650-ish words? Yeah, rest in peace, gender. They fucking ended it. I personally believe that eliminating gender would be detrimental as it pulls us farther from God's original plan for humans. What the fuck are you talking about? Nobody who is talking about, all right, maybe the essay they were supposed to be reacting to talks about ending gender or whatever the fuck. It is perfectly normal for kids to follow gender stereotypes because that is how God made us. Okay. I'm gonna God actually didn't make people to let's follow the logic here for a second. I'm gonna try and engage in slight good faith. Let's follow the logic that God made kids. God did not make society or societal structures. God did not make the way that we have put male and quote-unquote female behaviors into little boxes of determining who is or isn't masculine or feminine based on completely arbitrary constraints. We did that. So the idea, again, that if you work backwards from this, we have been given rights in this country. Eliminate gender pulls us farther from God's original plan. It's perfectly normal for kids to follow gender stereotypes because that is how God made us. We didn't make that. We made that conception of God to justify doing these things. Like, even if you were to take the Bible as the whole truth and the Word of God and divinely inspired and all that shit, there is nothing in the Bible that says boys need to play with monster trucks, girls can't play in the dirt, girls need to curtsy, boys have to like fucking dinosaurs or whatever the fuck, girls can't play with trains. Like, that was shit humans came up with because of our insecurities about these social structures. And then we forced them onto other people using God as a justification. Remember when I talked about the Blair White thing, how this Christian grift is usually so often a justification to just kind of levy harassment at people? This is kind of like that. The reason so many girls want to feel womanly, and again, another thing is that she's just asserting the idea of what womanly means without in a actual educational or scholarly environment. The scholastically minded would have some kind of definition of womanly outside of, how the fuck did she say it? Women naturally want to do womanly things because God created us with these womanly desires in our hearts. Without ever defining what any of that shit is, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not because they feel pressure to fit in social norms. It's because God created and chose them to reflect his beauty and his compassion in that way. In Genesis, God said it is not good for man to be alone. So he created a helper for man, which is a woman. This person has a hot dog in their brain cavity. This is a person who understands the Bible with the same level of comprehension as a chicken nugget. This is a Sunday schooler's level of understanding. God created a helper, and which is a woman. Women are supposed to be the helpers. Most people assume the word. Oh, this is one of my favorite fucking things. I love. So there's been a great series from the QAnon Anonymous folks and Annie Kelly, who's their kind of British correspondent. There's been a great series called Trad Life or something like that, where they are going over these kind of spate of trad life influencers and all that shit. And one of my favorite things, these talking points that they repeat over and over and over again, is that this kind of derisive feminism, this kind of reductionist messaging towards women that you are inherently not as good as a man, they try and spin it as though it's not just blatant sexism, which it is, and try and instead say, no, you're not worse than a man. You're just different. And you can't think as good or lift things as good. You're not as strong and you're not as fast. And you shouldn't try and be those things because you'll never be able to do it like a man can. And men should be in charge of everything because they're just better at things because that's the way God done did it. And it's so... Jesus Christ. However, the original word in Hebrew is ezer kenegdo, and that directly translates to helper equal. Additionally, God describes himself in the Bible using ezer kenegdo, or helper, and describes his Holy Spirit as our helper as well. Okay, so then again, you can't establish the original intent and then say, this is what we see with the hate church all the time. Therefore, this thing that was said and meant this all that time ago actually means the thing I want it to mean directly now in today. And there's no difference between those two because nothing has changed. God does not view women as less significant than men. Yes, but your movement does. Also, the God of the Bible kind of does. He created us with such intentionality and care, and he made women in his image. I hate the capitalization thing. That's so like Christian virtue signaling. Made women in his image of being a helper and in the image of his beauty. If leaning into that role means I am following gender stereotypes, then I am happy to be following a stereotype that aligns with the gifts and ability God gave me as a woman. I do not think men and women are pressured to be more masculine or feminine. Okay. So after you spent, I don't want to call them pages because it's really just like barely paragraphs. They're double spaced. But after you've spent this much time justifying how women should be subservient to men and should fall into these roles that we dictate, and how all of these things that weren't actually in the Bible are actually given to us by God, and that's why we got to do them and respect them. Now you're saying that men and women aren't pressured to fit into those roles. Okay. I strongly disagree with the idea from the article that encouraging acceptance of diverse gender expressions could improve students' confidence. Maybe not yours. But what about other people? Society pushing the lie that there are multiple genders and everyone should be whatever they want is demonic and severely harms American youth. I don't want kids to be teased or bullied. However, okay, if you ever have to write the phrase, I don't want kids to be teased or bullied, period. However, comma, you need to delete the whole thing and start again. Take a long, hard fucking look. Like, what the... How do you type... Now, I don't want anybody to be bullied. But... Man... However, pushing the lie that everyone has their own truth and everyone can do whatever they want and be whoever they want is not biblical whatsoever. Oh my God. Okay. So we were just kind of talking about philosophy and stuff, and one of the things that I really thought Nietzsche was cooking with when I was reading through Beyond Good and Evil was the idea of morality. And, you know, we all get our morality from different aspects of the things that we grow up with us around. Christians, for example, get a lot of their conception of the world from the morality of Christianity. And that enforces kind of how you see the world, how you navigate the world, unless you intentionally kind of break out from that. Hence, title Beyond Good and Evil, et cetera, et cetera. The thing here is that everybody has their own truth. Pushing the lie that everyone has their own truth is not biblical whatsoever. Okay, so you believing in a biblical truth, that is your own truth. That is your own little reality that you have had constructed for yourself. And you are trying to force upon everybody else. Right? But everybody else has their own little reality. Their own little way that they see the world. And this person had a fucking breakdown because the way they're trying to force the world to see itself, I guess, just doesn't fucking vibe with everybody else. Like, you are literally contradicting yourself to be saying that pushing the lie that everyone has their own truth isn't biblical whatsoever, because that is a truth that solely belongs to you in this equation. It is not a lie as an assertion, because it is exactly what you are arguing. That you have a truth that is not concurrent with other people's conception of reality. Oh my God. The Bible says that our lives are not our own, but that our lives and bodies belong to the Lord for his glory. I live my life based on this truth and firmly believe that there would be less gender issues and insecurities in children if they were raised knowing they don't belong to themselves. Chat. Could we get a can we get an assessment? What do we think from people in the chat, myself included? If every child was raised Christian and had this conception instilled in them from birth that their cognition, their bodies were not their own, that they were not in charge of their life, and additionally probably that if they ever do anything wrong or step out of line, that they're going to be damned to a burning lake of fire and suffer for all eternity. Do we think that is going to completely eliminate trans people from existence? I mean, it's obviously a tactic that's never been tried before with queer people. Like, never have gay people or trans people tried to have been, what's the word I would look for? Converted? Is that a good assessment of it? Yeah, there would be less gender insecurity if they were taught that women should expect to be singled out by a creepy king who'd off their husband if they could schlep them. Yeah. I was raised Christian. I'm still trans and gay. Me too. Anton Preacher, we are reading an essay that was a failure of an essay from a Christian wannabe influencer who made a big huff about being discriminated against because she got failed for this shit at a college level and got the teacher put on academic leave. Overall, reading articles such as this one encourages me to one day raise my children knowing they have a heavenly Father who loves them and cherishes them deeply, and having their identity firmly rooted in who he is will give them the satisfaction and acceptance that the world can never provide for them. I'm going to be so fucking real. If this is a genuinely held belief, that is the saddest, most empty life possible. The idea of waking up every day and lying to yourself that, yes, this is all part of somebody else's plan. That I have no control over my limited time on this earth. My own conception of reality means nothing because guy in the sky said so. Jesus Christ. My prayer for the world, and specifically for American society and youth, is that they would not believe the lies being spread from Satan that make them believe they are better off as another gender than what God made them. I pray that they feel God's love and acceptance as who he originally created them to be. And people were shocked this got failed? Like people fucking are melting down, acting like this is, we finally got those lib professors, all those college commies, they'll pay now because look at this well-written essay that just happened to quote the Bible. First off, didn't quote the Bible at all. Second off, this is worse than anything I had to proofread or peer review when I was in middle school. There is not a single assertion that is backed up by anything other than another assertion. There is also not any real analysis of the text. I feel I was kind of lost because she would just, again, make these assertions about the text and what it was saying without providing relevant examples. Usually in a kind of breakdown or a response, you want to directly quote, break it down, why you disagree with it, why it's contradictory, or why you have evidence to the contrary. The only evidence this person has for anything is just Bible. They just said, yeah, but what about Bible? Have you considered Bible? Tea with Goblins, thank you for 100 bits. Went to a literal convention school, still turned out to be a massive whoopsie. Oh, man. Are there even sources? What sources? No! The controversy is because she didn't just fail, she got a 0. This def deserves an F. It's absolute shit, but a 0 seems harsh. I would say a 0 is fine because it does not... So here we go. The grading. Reaction papers are graded on a 25-point scale or evaluated based on the following. Does the paper show a clear tie into the assigned article? No. Chat, let's grade it right now. Does the paper present a thoughtful reaction or response to the article rather than a summary? No. Thoughtful. Thoughtful is a very important word here. There were no thoughts behind it. No. Is the paper clearly written? Fuck no. Look, I don't even see a single paragraph break. You must write 650 words, body of text, double space, reaction paper, blah, blah, blah. Which, again, 650 words is fucking nothing. Points will be deducted when papers are deficient in any of these areas. I will deduct 10 points if it is between 620 and 649 words. Will not give credit for papers under 620. Papers not turned in by the deadline will not receive credit. Well, that probably explains why she fucking repeated so much shit. Reaction paper should not be a summary, but rather a thoughtful discussion of some aspect of the article. Possible approaches include a discussion of why you feel the topic is important and worthy of study. And her response was like, it's not. It's because of God. And then just talked about God the entire time. An application of the study or results to your own experiences, which also did not happen. So that's it. Yeah. And the way they are trying to spin it is, it's time for conservatives to take a stand and show teachers that we will not be intimidated for sharing conservative or Christian beliefs on assignments. Wow, dude. No results for hashtag fire Professor Melkurth. Yeah. I kind of think it might have been copied from her speaking. Pack, thank you for super chatting $5. Look at this paper. You look at this. You look at this paper and tell me there's a God. Yeah, that too. Geodeck Geoscience. Nothing she said about the article couldn't have come from skim reading the article's abstract. There's no evidence she actually read it. Yeah. Yeah. Also read the comment left by the prof. It was in that thread. Oh, yeah. Let me... Let's go. Here we go. Trans professor's response to Samantha's essay. She, they. Please note, I am not deducting points because you have certain beliefs, but instead I am deducting point for you posting a reaction paper that does not answer the questions for this assignment, contradicts itself, heavily uses personal ideology over empirical evidence in a scientific class, and is at times offensive. While you are entitled to your own personal beliefs, there is an appropriate time or place to implement them in your reflections. I encourage all students to question or challenge the course material with other empirical findings or testable hypotheses, but using your own personal beliefs to argue against the findings of not only this article, but the findings of countless articles across psychology, biology, sociology is not best practice. This is the nicest possible way of saying, no, honey, I'm not doing it because you're a Christian. I'm doing it because you're a fucking idiot. I'm doing it because science as a whole is laughing at you. And it would be wrong for me as a professor to not laugh along with them. Let's do, protect. Yeah, she didn't even fucking, she didn't even fucking cite the Bible. Like, the whole TPUSA thing came out like, oh, they were under fire for their free speech at quoting the Bible. They didn't even quote the Bible. You argue that abiding by normative gender roles is beneficial. Parenthetical. It is perfectly fine to believe this. But to then say that everyone should act the same while also saying that people aren't pressured into gendered expectations is contradictory. Especially since your arguments reflect a religious pressure to act in gender stereotyped ways. You can say that strict gender norms don't create gender stereotypes, but that isn't true by definition of what a stereotype is. Please note that acknowledging gender stereotypes does not immediately denote a negative connotation, a nuance this article discusses. God damn. So not only did she say, you were wrong, but she said, you're a bitch and probably didn't read the article. Additionally, to call an entire group of people demonic is highly offensive, especially in a minoritized population. You are entitled to your own beliefs, but this isn't a vague narrative of society pushes lies, but instead the result of countless years developing psychological and scientific evidence for these claims and directly interacting with the communities involved. You may personally disagree with this, but that doesn't change the fact that every major psychological, medical, pediatric, and psychiatric association in the United States acknowledges that biologically and psychologically, sex and gender is neither binary nor fixed. I implore you to apply some more perspective and empathy in your work. If you personally disagree with the findings, then by all means share your criticisms, but make sure to do so in a way that is appropriate in using the methodology of empirical psychology as aligned with the learning goals in this class. If you have any additional questions or concerns, blah, blah, blah. I implore you to apply some more perspective and empathy in your work. If you personally disagree, by all means, share your criticism. So what they, again, completely antithetical to the narrative that they want to spin, which is that, oh, these liberal college professors, they just can't take anything. She is saying, no, I implores you, fucking spit your game. Let's talk about it. Have an actual dialectic here. And the way this woman responded was to crash out publicly and get this TA put on administrative leave. Ace E9000. So how was this teacher placed on administrative leave? Like on what fucking grounds? So the person, Fulnecki, put forward a discrimination allegation, and it's standard practice in any case of discrimination for an investigation to be pending. So like it is more of just a precaution / manner of form as opposed to like, oh, this person definitely is getting fired. And honestly, I feel like they're going to be back as soon as people forget about the shit and it's out of the zeitgeist. This person should get their job back. Absolutely. Yeah, no, the teacher took time to explain in great detail, and they offered good constructive criticism. Yeah, no, it is. Blanchy, this seems completely designed to get the writer media attention. It is. This is just somebody trying to engineer, I guess, the next Riley Gaines. Yeah, both Mel and the other maker have had their emails removed from OU's website, presumably to protect from harassment. I wouldn't be surprised. No, it should be a TA. The actual thing was a TA. So, if you would like to ensure Oklahoma University protects Mel Kurth from discrimination, there's a change.org petition that everybody should go sign. Certain sections of conservative media have chosen to slander and transphobically attack her, turning a simple academic exercise into a cause for public hostility and discrimination. Exactly. Due to a concentrated effort to undermine her authority and dignity as an educator, the situation now has spiraled to the point where Mel has been attacked en masse and suspended from her graduate teaching position, a devastating blow for someone who has devoted their early career to fostering learning and growth among her students. The impact of this unwarranted character assassination extends beyond Mel herself, setting a dangerous precedent where educators are left vulnerable simply for doing their jobs conscientiously, which we've been in that for fucking years. All right, I will send this link in the chat. Are you sharing a meme with me right now?
Unfortunately, I will forget, but it's because I've been like this forever. I've always been that way.
Is that a picture of baby you?
That's a picture of baby me doing that.
Was that good for you when you saw that for the first time? My picture just now? Was that good for you? Come here. Let me poke your butt. Love you.
I love you.
I just said that right into the mic. Sorry. Okay. Announcing transphobic harassment. Yes. Okay. Aspen goes birding. She didn't even cite one source in the essay. Yeah. I need everyone who's outraged to understand what empirical means first. Ow. Ava Val. Oh, I love Ava. You can tell she's from Oklahoma. Ouch. The fact that the professor's trans has got nothing to do with it. The fact that the student is dumber than a sack of bricks does. Someone who thinks the Bible can be used as a source shouldn't even be in college. I mean, here's the problem. The Bible can be used as a source. No professor would tell you differently. It has to be used as a source in context, not as a fucking roadmap to the meaning of everything in life and the purpose and definitional mandate behind every aspect of society. Because the entire point of college, the entire point of like dialectics and advancing arguments and, synthesis, antithesis, Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? Synthesis, antithesis. Why is that hard to say today? I guess at least it wasn't AI. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Asked to write an AI about the perceptions of people based on gender. Goes on a completely unrelated rant about the Bible and bullshit about traditional gender roles unprompted. Fails. Truly, this is the professor's fault. Fucking got him. Fucking got him. Yeah. Well, her assignment wasn't, what does the Bible say? Oh, that's fucking so good. I mean, like, Pinky Punk saying theology, yes, psych, no. Honestly, like, there are ways that you could discuss this in psychology. Like, the history of Western religion is so deeply, like I was talking about earlier, is so deeply entwined with philosophy and our conception of reality that, like, and that thing, by extension, so deeply entwined with our understanding of psychology that, like, yeah, there are absolutely ways that you can have discussions involving the Bible, but not to simply assert all of this shit as universal truth. And I think the really scary thing is that if people see this as an actual win, which, again, I don't think it is. I think right now it is nothing more than, like, it is social media posturing for somebody who desperately wants to get the next fucking, you know, Riley Gaines-ish spotlight. Antithesis. Can you reference the Bible? Yeah, I can reference the Bible. Are you talking about me referencing the Bible? I didn't. I actually did that earlier. Yeah, no, geodeck. Religion has such a significant influence on the way people think that it absolutely should be discussed in psychology. Yeah. Oh, man. What happened to Riley Gaines? Yeah, no, I still think she's doing a fucking grift tour. Create America. People do treat psychology like a philosophy class, though. Yeah, and honestly, I think that has more to do with, like, the state of, like, philosophy as it applies to, like, the kind of postmodern context. But that's a subject that I don't really want to get into right now. The utter lack of academic curiosity in this person's piece is truly representative of the right-wing evangelical worldview. I feel like that's kind of all that needs to be said, honestly. Johnny Viral, are you in chat, by the way? I mean, the problem with modern philosophy, Elikon, is that the people who fancy themselves philosophers, this is another thing that you get into with, like, Beyond Good and Evil and the Ubermensch and the person who has, like, forsaken other forms of morality to kind of find their own and how they see the world, is that so many people want to be that, but in the wanting, they themselves can never be it, right? So many people misunderstand, like, the ideal thinker, the ideal human. And there is such a piety around it now to be a philosopher that it just seems to attract, like, total jagoffs who have nothing else to contribute to society, who just want to fucking wax poetic about how intelligent they are. Chunaboyo? Who's the Chunaboyo? Are you talking about me? Because I'll have you know, I read 2 Nietzsche books. Oh, Johnny Vile, if you could post basically oh, no, I get what you're saying. Yes, yeah. the Ubermensch thing is that, like, and so you get people like, you know, who call themselves philosophers, and it's that kind of this just brain dead brand of like Jim Bro philosophy where, you know, they get all of their knowledge of philosophy not from like looking into the authors, understanding their histories, how they interrelated to one another, how they iterated on each other's ideas, but just simply reading and not really comprehending books because they treat, again, it's this kind of like justifying the means, or getting to the end point justifies this so that they can say, yes, I read all of these books, even if, like, do you really read a book if you don't understand and think about it? Yeah. Joey Staley, thank you for another $10. Maybe a bit dramatic, but this reminds me of Seth Roth quote about faith and doubt and how there must be room for doubt. Otherwise, there's no room to question or to learn. Yep. Yeah. Like every great philosopher, I would say like they are kind of united by uncertainty and not knowing. Like the best they can do at the end of the day is to speculate. And that's really what a lot of philosophy is. But yeah. It's because then you get people like Jordan Peterson, or, you know, in a more or a less kind of mainstream context, you get people like Nick Land, and there are still philosophers out there, but it is not as the kind of it's this weird other effect of the democratization of learning, where making knowledge, again, this is not the way humanity should have gone, because what we should have right now is you look at it as an equation, right? Where you take over time knowledge, like here are the study of things, here's philosophy, here's physics, here's science, here's art, here's all this shit, and you make it accessible to everybody. You know, you have the internet. We blow it wide open. We give all of this shit to everybody. And instead of making everybody smarter, we just kind of make everybody feel like they know what their version of truth is. You know? Yeah, I would say Chomsky. Chomsky and, I mean, like, Zizek, if you want to get... Like the other half of it is that, like, most of the big philosophers were around in the last 50, 60 years. Yeah, anyway. Like, yeah, no, like look at this shit literally on my screen. Ask Grok to explain this post. What the fuck do you mean? Ask this thing to summarize the thing that is right in front of your fucking head? What? Like, it's just, it's so, again, there are so many things that are just, they would be, if you tried to write shit like this as satire, it would be too on the nose. It'd be too on the nose. Here is, like, when you lay it out in the most plain text possible, here's a story about somebody who is too stupid for college, who is using that, the fact that they seem to base their entire worldview on an incredibly thin conception of their own ideology, with no real scholarship underpinning it at all, using that as an ideological cudgel so that they can probably grift to a new culture war fucking influencer spotlight. And it's being disseminated, sold, lied about on this website where they are offering an AI that is fucking probably giving lead poisoning to 5 different communities in Georgia right now, that is trying to explain the thing that is being explained in front of you. When the thing that is being explained is how some people in America are, like, too stupid, too superstitious, have literal brains of a peasant. Like what the fuck? What are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing here, chat? It's bleak. It's bleak. I have no mouth and I must explain. Oh man. You know what? Let's fucking see. What does Grok think about this? It's just Cliff Notes. It's just fucking Cliff Notes. It's the same thing that you just read in a similar number of words. Like it's we have gotten to a point of such absolute convenience that we cannot move forward and make things more convenient. We just have to say it's more convenient and then just move laterally. The ex post from Turning Point USA, blah, blah, blah. Okay, yep, just literally ripping whole fucking things from public replies predominantly argue the zero grade aligns with academic expectations. Great. Great. So fucking useful. Fuck, man. Alrighty. Chat, I've got a couple hours till an interview. I have to go get some food. I've got to probably start getting, I probably want a little bit of a nap, so I'm fucking on one. Johnny Viral, if you could post the Ko-Fi link in chat, if people want to donate to the Ko-Fi, I would very much appreciate it. We are getting our rent taken out soon, so we're going to be on very little money for a couple weeks. Yeah. Oh no, it's not a job interview. This is my job. I don't need a fucking job interview. No, I have an interview with the trans rapper Damage, spelled with a 3. And we are gonna go. Ran Vixen. We're going to go say hi to KF Logan over on YouTube. I hope everybody goes over, likes, supports. Thank you so much for everything today. Thank you for stopping by the stream. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. And stay tuned to the channel because I think we'll probably do a stream highlight of this one and then some other ones. But with all that out of the way, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.